everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you an mixed media altered tag using the prompts from the Facebook group Tag It Tuesday. It's probably been at least a year since I've done one of these. I haven't been making very many altered tags, maybe zero, and I haven't done this prompt challenge for a long time either, so I thought it might be kind of fun. Making tags is something I often do in December, usually smaller ones than this, but you know, if you had a large package, this would be a fun one to put on. There are prompts. I don't believe the rules say that you have to use them all. I don't believe the rules say that you need to do them in order. Can't really remember what the rules are, but there's a list of prompts. I figured I would use them. There was two colors, red, violet, and silver. So I got out my color wheel and I looked for some acrylic paint that might be red violet. I didn't find one named red violet, but I found one called Prism Violet, which was very close on my color wheel. And I painted that onto a manila shipping tag. And then I also have this interference violet mica powder. And while the paint was still wet, I just painted the mica powder onto it and kind of blended it in with the brush. And that gave the whole thing a shimmer. Interference means like prismatic usually, but basically it just gave it a shimmer, so a mica shimmer. Another one of the prompts was use a random stamp set. And so I grabbed this stamp set that has snowflakes. You know, lots of snowflake stamp sets out there, and they're always fun. I added the silver, so I used a silver pigment pad and then silver ultra fine embossing powder to make silver snowflakes on my kind of shimmery red violet background. So that takes care of three of the prompts already. Random stamp set, silver, and red violet. So ultrafine embossing powder is kind of a pain, but it does make something pretty. You put sticky ink, and in this case is a silver pigment pad, so that's a sticky ink. And then with a stamp or some other way of applying the ink if you want to, and then just put the powder on, shake it off as much as you can, and then put it back in the bottle. Put the lid back on, then you're ready to use a heat tool to heat it up, and the plastic melts and the shiny pigment comes out, and you end up with something kind of dimensional and very shiny. So silver snowflakes on a red violet background. The next prompt that I noticed was to rip the page tag or card. So I ripped the bottom of the tag off with the idea that if I put another layer on the back of another cardstock, a white cardstock, I would end up with a snowbank at the bottom. So I cut over on my guillotine cutter, I cut a piece of white confetti cardstock, the size that would be just a quarter of an inch larger than a tag. So I used another tag that I hadn't torn so that I could figure out the right size. And this will become my underlayer, but also gives me that snowbank look at the bottom. So now I have a snowy sky full of snowflakes with some snow at the bottom. So that whole tear the tag thing worked out for me really well. Doing a prompt challenge, you're trying to make the prompts fit into the idea of what you want to make, right? And it's not always easy. Sometimes the prompts are just, they're just crazy. And in our Art Joy of Sharing group, we have a prompt challenge every month. It's called Pick a Stick Challenge, where we draw the prompts randomly. And sometimes that can just be super crazy. But in this case, with this particular set of prompts, I had a really easy time of putting them into something that made sense. I thought it worked out really well. Even the weird ones came into focus for me So the next prompt that was on there is use at least 2 stencils. And so I grabbed this stencil that kind of had some horizontal lines across it in one section, and I used that with some distress ink in a light blue color. I think it's Stormy Sky, maybe. I didn't write down the colors, so I'm sorry about that. But it's a dye-based ink, and sorry about that. I had also used the prompt use at least one piece of ephemera. I'm not sure if that came before or after. I don't know. No, I think I did the stenciling first. Ephemera means something that you would normally throw away, like tickets and um, brochures and just, things like that. Pieces of newspaper, old books, anything that's that type of stuff that could be left over that would usually be thrown away. You can use it again particularly if it's paper. And this is actually a piece of the I think the map from CHA a few years ago. So it's actually got some company names on it. As I was looking at it, I thought it was kind of funny. But the reason that I picked it is because it had the blue and white, light blue and white, which is the colors that I thought I needed for my little snowman. So I stamped it in permanent ink and cut it out. Now, my second stencil, I'm getting around to my second stencil. I stenciled that onto some rice paper, which is paper that can become translucent. I don't intend it to be, but I'm using a baby wipe that's slightly damp to press down. I used a Yoo-hoo glue stick to glue it down. So it looks a little bit less, like it should fade more into the background because it's that kind of translucent look to it. I don't want the tree to be more important than the snowman in this composition. I want the snowman to be the thing that's the most important and the tree to be in the background. So I'm hoping that the rice paper will assist in that. And the fairly light color that I use, which I think says something about evergreen on it, although it seems to be a turquoise color now that I put it on there. I also cut out a little snowflake from the piece that I tore off and made that the star on the top of the tree. And I used dimension by adding some of those foam dots to the back of it to make it stand out from the card. Then I think almost all the prompts except for add numbers are used. I'm going to color my snowman with some alcohol markers. Nothing real fancy. I'm adding a bluish turquoise color to give a little bit of definition to the edges. Snow is white, but yet when you look at it, it looks white in your brain, but it's actually just shades of grays and blues. Otherwise, there would be no dimension to it. So your brain processes it as a white, but it's actually more like light gray, light blue, dark blue, So you can use blues or grays around the edges of anything that's supposed to be snow to make it look more, I would say realistic, but I don't know, just give it more definition. Like I did with the stencil at the bottom with the light blue, it gives that snow area of the tag some sort of visual interest by adding just that little bit of light blue. So I've got purples, I've got pinks, I've got, of course, orange for the nose, and then this blue, and then I go and grab a gray to do the rest of the little hat that the snowman is wearing. This is a really cute stamp set. It's so old. It's probably at least 20 years old, and it's a Stampin' Up! One, but I've used it so much over the years for different holiday projects. I've used it so much. You wouldn't even believe it. And you can tell the rubber's getting hard, how it kind of hardens up and you've got to keep trying to condition it. So I didn't get a complete clear stamping, so I did use my Posca pen to kind of touch up a few areas of the black lines where I didn't get completely clear, good stamping. Then to do add numbers, which is the last prompt, I put on 25 days till Christmas. Obviously, it's not 25 days anymore, but this is kind of a tag that you could use on a package, so that might be something that says on there. So that adds the numbers to the tag, which completes all the prompts in a reasonable and logical way. So it turned out well for me. So I did that with my Posca pen, and I'm kind of going back and thickening up some of the lines to make the writing look more interesting as I'm going. And then the rest of it is just, making it fancy. I got out some glitter glue. This is a Stickles glitter glue in diamond, which is one of my favorite products to add sparkle and shimmer and shine to things. So easy to use, doesn't flake off or go crazy on you. And I just added that here and there, adding a little bit of snow buildup on the snowman's hat, scarf, across the bottom on those little lines. And then just some dots all the way through the sky in between the snowflakes to kind of fill in a little bit. And that iridescent glitter in this glitter glue just picks up whatever color it happens to be around. So that works well. Then I grabbed my box of sequins and I decided to add a bunch of sequins to decorate the tree. And then I also added some in the background areas too. I had these ones that are all like blues, silvers, and like a turquoise color, which matches really well with the tag. And there was some that looked like little starburst type things. So I decided to add those ones around in the background. I'm using Glossy Accents, which is a dimensional glue from Ranger, to glue on the sequins. It's very strong and works really well for sequins. So I just put a dot and then I pick up the sequins with a stylus and just pop them down in there, and then I eventually come back and press them down a little bit with a moist baby wipe so I don't get glue on my fingers. I also picked out some pink, silver, and light pink sequins in different sizes from another bag and put those on as decorations onto the tree because, the scarf has that pink in it. So I thought pink, purple, turquoise are great colors that go together for this tag. So if you guys if you guys like to do altered tags, you might want to consider joining Sherry Whitfield's group, Tag It Tuesday, on Facebook. You can go over there and ask to join, and I'm sure she'll let you join in to make tags. She has a prompt challenge every month. I think they're also doing ATCs, maybe, or something over there too. I really haven't been paying very good attention. I spend most of my time working on my own group with Peg Robinson, which is Art Joy Sharing, and we have a lot of challenges and things like that. So I don't have a lot of time to do other people's challenges. But if you enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment or question below. You can subscribe to my channel. I have that little subscription button down there, and you can just click on that and subscribe anytime you want. I always enjoy that. You can share this with friends if you think somebody would like a pink and purple turquoise Christmas tag. Those can be Christmas colors. I know they can. Sometimes you just get tired of the red and green. And I added some fibers to this, some silver thread, and then some sari ribbon in pink, and then a little eyelash ribbon. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.